Carson.
How you doing?
I think this is the first time we've talked to you since the Cotton Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
You had been starting all year, and then you're not out there for the Cotton Bowl. How did they maybe explain to you what had happened in that situation?
Yeah, I mean that's a conversation that we had, kind of going into the game, and the decision that the coaches made. I fully support it. I fully support what's best for the team at the time, and that's what it was. I mean, like I don't read anything. I don't read anything too much into it. But that's a decision they made, and all I could do is get ready and compete for this next year. I think just going into the game, that was just kind of what I don't know. That was just what they told me. That was the best decision going into it. And like I said, I fully support the team. I fully support all the hard work Matt had put in going to that game. It was the right decision at the time, and I'm okay with it.
When you have a job like that taken away from you, does it make you even hungrier in the spring to go get it back?
Absolutely, and that's why I think this year that competition's been so good, especially with me and Seth. He's been a great addition to the team, a great addition to the O-line room. That competition's been going really well. And I think I've gotten so much better because of that. And I think he can say that he got a lot better as well. Just because that competition, breeds really great players. And I think that's what we're slowly becoming.
How has he made you better?
Just his experience, obviously, he's a few years older than me. And coming from obviously another top program like Alabama, learning what he has kind of in his bag of moves and stuff like that I haven't really developed yet. It's been interesting to kind of see how he reacts to different situations, and if I can kind of develop that into my own a little bit.
What are the biggest things you've been working on to improve this spring?
Mostly just being comfortable, staying in a base, working my hands. That's a big thing we've kind of emphasized this year, is getting a lot more hand fighting work in. Instead of, because obviously I'm a little undersized, so being able to play in a leverage in a base and getting able to quick kind of get in and out of different situations. And a lot of thing as well is being kind of a younger guy and playing last year, like you develop a lot, but being able to take that next step and really work on my, obviously the first 80% of a play looks really well, but the last 20% where the real play actually happens has been my biggest focus, and being physical towards that back end.
Carson was 6 road games last year. What did you learn in terms of calls at the line, silent counts? How much of that was the learning process for you last year?
Oh, it was so amazing. Well, like playing at Notre Dame was insane. Being in silent cadence for the first time, really, like when you really experience it, it's tough. Having your head between your legs for about 25 seconds about to pass out, that's a little tough. But no, it was awesome. And then playing at Wisconsin was pretty cool. My dad got me this big, like 10-pound bag of cheese that we put in the locker room. We were like sharing it off on the bus and stuff like that. So it was like, besides just the calls on the line, like being able to develop as a player. Obviously not going in there super wide-eyed now, because I've played in those games. I've played at Team Up North. I've played it, I guess, here against Penn State. I played at Wisconsin. I was hard. Played at Notre Dame, which was electric. So being able to develop that skill of being calm in kind of the storm has been really developmental for me, and looking for that, especially this next year, playing in Eugene and Penn State and all those big places like that, it'll be really helpful. Yeah, and like being as young as I was, it was very hard to kind of understand, because looking at a guy like Luke Whippler, a Jersey guy, big tough rug, I want to be like that, but I'm not that yet. And I think trying to be that kind of like bigger than I was at the time, looking back on it, wasn't really kind of the best for me. Like obviously playing was super awesome. Is just, for me, it was more of a developmental year, and looking into that as I'm going to grow a lot from this. And looking back on that, there's some mistakes. I'm like, there was no way I'd make that right now. There's no reason why I would do that, but I just needed that to develop into what I am today. So I'm super grateful for it.
Do you feel like you were like a year early too? I know everyone wants to play as fast as possible. Going through it now, it's a redshirt freshman makes it easy.
Yeah.
How prepared is that?
In my mind, I felt prepared. Looking back now, you're like, wow, that kid really didn't know anything. But I think just the confidence I had, not only in myself, but like the guys around me, like Donnie and Matt, and leaning on their years of expertise and how much they've gone through has really helped. Because there'd be sometimes I'd be looking at them like, I don't really understand this, and there'd be Donnie or Josh Fryer would help me be like, no, this is what we're looking at. I'm like, okay, that makes a lot more sense now, to help me become kind of the poignant guy for the line and stuff like that, to make those kind of calls that we needed.
With Seth here, has there been any conversation about like what guy can play center? Whoever that guy is who's not the center can possibly play guard. Like, is there any switchability between positions for you?
Coach Fry always says, that the best five will play. That's regardless of really position, and I don't really have any like here or there when it comes to what position I like. If I can play, I'll be more than happy wherever I'm at. But the best five will play, and I think they've done a really good job facilitating and rolling guys at different positions and stuff like that. So I'm not really sure what they have in store for us, but we'll see towards the end of the spring and then going into the summer, because all that can change as well. Currently, I've been all center. Yep.
You mentioned that you're undersized. What's your weight at now?
Weighed in today at 298. So I'd like to bump that up to 300, like 303 if I could, like a real 303, not drinking Gatorades trying to get up to 303. But that'd probably be the end goal, to really get in my legs and feel that leverage going against guys like him.
What has the process been like of bulking up since you've gotten here where you are now?
I mean, you can ask Hero. He's my roommate. He's been force feeding me kitchen social. But just doing that, drinking whey protein shakes, getting in touch with Kayla, our nutritionist. Her and Zoe are super awesome. They've developed a good plan for us to get up to that weight, because if you can play heavier and more in your legs, like, why wouldn't you? You're kind of leaving money off the table. And I think for me last year, I really struggled with that kind of discipline of keeping my weight up, and playing like way lighter than I should have been. Like 280 is way too crazy. And I think that this year, like developing with Coach Mick and stuff like that, it's like real weight. It's not like kind of fake watery weight. It's like real, like I can play in my legs now a lot more.
You were 80 at times last year?
When I was really low, that was like at the beginning of the year, but I got it back up obviously really fast.
The way you're talking, it sounds like last year was basically a trial by fire. Like you were throwing out there. Is that a correct assessment?
I don't know if it was that, because I had all that like help on the line with me. I wouldn't say it was a trial by fire, but it was definitely a big learning experience, especially for a young guy who went into it not playing a single snap. I remember I was so nervous before the Indiana game. I'm like literally shaking. I'm like tearing up and stuff, because I'm like, oh my God, like, it's real. And going into it, you think like, I'll put all this work and I should be there. And then, like I said, you go back and you watch the tape this year, and I'm like, what am I doing? So I think it's such a good developmental year for me that I'm so grateful for that experience. And then going into this year, trying to learn off that and learn off what we've learned this spring into the summer, I think it's going to be a really great year.
If you look at yourself now from just like practice or and you compare it to watching tape of what you did last year, where do you find yourself with the biggest change?
Mostly just playing in my like height and playing in my leverage. I would always have a problem with like really tight ankles and playing really tall on my toes. And whenever I got high hipped and like up like that, that's when I get snagged and tossed. And then just like more recognition of what's going on and having the game slow down with you, because the more you grow, you kind of feel that the game obviously doesn't really slow down. These guys get faster every year, but like it starts to slow down a little bit for you. So like you just kind of see last year me kind of like jittering, kind of figuring out what I'm doing, and then that's where I end up in those bad situations. But this year it's with more like film study and more study with the coaches and stuff like that, I can find myself in better positions of power and making the right blocks when I need to be. It's just not 100% knowing exactly what you're doing, and that's not a coaching problem. That's not, obviously it's a me problem, but it just comes with reps and it comes with experience when you haven't had that before. Jittering's a kind of a rough word for it, but it's just kind of like, you're indecisive. That's a better word. When you know you're 100%, I'm ready to make this block, you play so much faster. And this year, when I've been able to do that, I've played obviously a lot faster. You can see it on tape.
Montgomery's on the 20. Last question for Carson.
Play fast and play hard and play decisive, which helps the team, helps the guys around me, and playing with a voice obviously helps the guys around me. Like, you don't want to take I'm trying to find the word. Take words from a guy who's kind of stumbling and going all around with a light voice. Like, if you're loud, you're decisive. Like, we're ready to make this block, we're ready to roll. So,
All right, Carson, thank you.
yep.
How much does the defense help in the game?
Well, O-Block has been absolutely shredding the defense this spring, in my opinion. No, I'm joking. they've been helping us a lot. Thank you, guys.
What kind of cheese?
What kind of cheese was it? Well, we had cheddar. Well, so like the cheese curds are all cheddar mostly, but like there's a place called Kitty Cheese back at home. It's got that habanero jack. It's really good on mac and cheese and stuff like that. But like you can.